Rajiv Vij is the founder, CEO of Carzonrent, a pioneering company that brought the rental car business at a very different scale to India in the year 2000. Interestingly, before that, he had a 20-year-long career at senior executive positions with International Travel House and Hindustan Motors. Rajiv, it's a pleasure to welcome you.
Thank you.
Let's take the question on its head. You had great experience as an executive. What dawned upon you to start this business and at this scale?
Actually, when I worked at International Travel House, this was a place where I learned the real potential of this business in India. I also got an opportunity to go and meet up with the likes of Hertz and Avis and Budget and Comfort and Lease Plan and everybody overseas, and try and understand from them as to how those companies have grown in some of the markets which have passed through similar kind of growth cycle like India is passing through now. And with all those learnings, I came to some firm conclusions at that point of time. One, I believed that India as a market is set to grow. It will grow exponentially. It will probably structure in the same manner as some of the developed markets, and so it will also have a developed self-drive business. It will have a developed meter taxi business. It will have a limousine car business, and it will have a corporate fleets business. But I also clearly understood that is going to happen provided this industry is able to attract the right talent, capital, and occupy a position of strength in the travel and tourism industry as one of the infrastructure providers in that industry. And my belief is that is something which is going to happen only when there is at least one success story in the industry that is written in India. And I also found that other players who were in the market, they were not looking at this as a core business. They were not looking at this as a strategic business. They were either looking at this to support their hospitality business or travel business or automobile business. And therefore, I saw an opportunity. And when I saw that opportunity, the entrepreneur in me, it came out, and I decided to make the plunge.
I must ask this because after having done your stints at different industries at different levels for 20 years, it's difficult to plunge into entrepreneurship. It's very, very risky because you're in your own comfort zone. So an entrepreneur at, if I may say so, with due respect, at midlife, it's not easy.
Yeah, entrepreneurship is never easy. Who said entrepreneurship is easy? Entrepreneurship is exciting, it is satisfying, but it's not easy. And in the kind of business that I have got into, it's tough business. It's not an easy business. Getting into this business at the age of 40, yes, was a tough decision. Lots of people came and told me that, but this business is very fragmented, very small players, lots of money required, very capital intensive business, and therefore why was I trying to spoil my career and jump into it? But I think the confidence that I had in my understanding of this business, the confidence that I had that if I do things right, it's something which is giving me an opportunity to write a success story in this business. The clear understanding that I had that understanding of the business and that focus on this business is something which other people are not doing, and therefore the market is open for somebody like me to try and create a position. Is something which gave me enough encouragement to take that risk.
So somebody like you had to know the Indian market really well, because if you are outside of India, regardless of whether in Europe or North America, we all know how easy it is to rent a car, right? Come off the plane, give a credit card, drive around. Nowadays with GPS, it's even easier to go around. It doesn't work that way in India. Even if I were to dare drive it, it's kind of nerve-wracking. So you gave it a twist, which in some ways is a little bit of more hospitality attached to it with a driver and other amenities that come with it. If the same thing were to be done outside of India, it will be a very luxurious service which not ordinary folks can't afford. So let's spend a minute or so to understand, how you understood the market well and the processes you put in place.
See, actually, when I say that I understood this market, what I'm saying is that I understood the critical component, thousands of rooms, and all those rooms are floating all around the country. And you cannot supervise. You have no way to supervise as to what's happening in that room and what the butler is doing, this driver, once he has moved out of your premises. And that is something which makes this business the more exciting business. But understanding of each of these issues, understanding the importance of the car, understanding the importance of partnering with that driver, understanding the importance of maintenance of your cars, the quality of service that you deliver, understanding the customer's expectations from you, understanding the importance of technology in this kind of a business, the processes that are important in this business, is all of it that I learned during my years. First at Hindustan Motors, when I used to sell cars to taxiwalas, and then at Travel House, when I used to run a small car rental business, which I turned around and then built it. So, that deep understanding of this business in different parts of the country, plus an understanding based on how these businesses have grown in some of the other markets around the world, something I think that gave me a lot of confidence that this will move.
You also have a social angle with the drivers, which is making responsible and also eventually someday become the owner of the car. So we can elaborate on that.
See, right in the early days, if you look at the issues that challenge you in this business, and if you look at what has happened to this industry and some of the other players who have tried to grow in this country, because you have a large workforce of half-educated people who are to drive your cars, they can become unionized very, very fast, and that can wreck your business completely. You also have laws which do not even permit you to do a chauffeur drive business. I mean, just to give an example, one of the laws is that you cannot have a driver on duty continuously for more than 12 hours. Now, if you are sending a car outstation with a customer who is going for 3 days, how do you meet the requirements of law there? You don't know. But I think more importantly, what was critical was that you cannot supervise this driver. He has to be a self-motivated guy. He has to have his skin in the business. And he must know that when he is doing that business, he is doing that business not only as a driver, but he is doing that business as somebody who has an interest in that business. And therefore we created a structure where his monthly earnings are directly related to the revenue that he earns on the car that he drives, the operating cost that he incurs on that car, whatever is the difference, that's his monthly earning. But he also has a long-term interest in that asset, so that that asset is what will become his asset at the end of the tenure. And I think that is what has worked in building and scaling up our business.
How many cars now and how many cities across India?
We now we actually run 3 revenue streams. We have car rental business, we have operating lease business where we provide cars to corporates on operating lease basis, and we run the taxi business, which is the easy cabs business. In each of these businesses, we have about, in the car rental business, we have about 2,200 cars. In the lease business, we have about 1,800 cars, and in the taxi business, we have about 2,600 cars. So we totally have about 6,800 cars now.
And if I may ask, what is the growth strategy in terms of how you want to go, and do you have an exit in mind?
I think this business, the market has just started opening up. The next 10 years are going to be extremely, extremely exciting in terms of growth of this business. My understanding is that we have an opportunity to build an Indian car rental brand, We have an opportunity to build an Indian taxi brand. We have an opportunity to build scale equivalent to the size of some of the companies which are global players in Europe and US and other parts of the world. We'll look at an exit. I'm in no hurry for an exit. I love this business. I'm quite passionate about it.
I think that's the inspiration required.
It is.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much, Raj.
Thank you so much. Very good to see you.